Maya knew something was wrong the moment her father closed the bedroom door. He never closed doors when he had good news. He stood near the window with his hands behind his back, staring at the rain sliding down the glass. Her mother sat silently on the edge of the bed, twisting the corner of her scarf again and again. Maya looked from one face to the other. What happened? Her father didn't answer immediately. Finally, he turned. You're getting married. Maya blinked. What? Your engagement has been arranged. A nervous laugh escaped her. Dad, I'm 26. You can't just arrange my marriage. Her father remained completely serious. The family has already agreed. What family? The Ramon family. Maya's smile disappeared. She knew that name. Everyone in their city did. The Ramons owned textile factories, warehouses, construction companies, and several commercial buildings. Their wealth had been built over 3 generations. And their eldest son was Armin Ramon, 38 years old, divorced, quiet, extremely wealthy, and, according to everyone who knew the family, unable to have children. Maya stared at her father. No. Her mother finally looked up. Maya, no. Please listen. I've heard enough. Her father stepped forward. Armin is a respectable man. I don't care. He's educated. I don't care. He can give you a comfortable life. I don't want a comfortable life with someone I don't love. Her father sighed. Love can come later. Maya stared at him. That's what you're telling yourself. He looked away. What does that mean? Her mother began crying. Maya's anger suddenly turned into fear. Why are you doing this? Her father sat down. The family business is in serious trouble. Maya slowly shook her head. What kind of trouble? We owe money. How much? He didn't answer. Dad, how much? More than we can repay. The room became silent. Maya looked at her mother. And the Ramons? Her father finally said. They've offered to help. Maya understood. Her stomach dropped. They'll pay our debts if I marry Armin. Her father didn't deny it. You're selling me. No, you are. Her mother stood. Don't say that. What else am I supposed to call it? Her father raised his voice. I'm trying to save this family. And I'm part of this family. I know. Then why am I the price? Her father went quiet. Maya's eyes filled with tears. She had always believed her father would protect her. Now she realized he was asking her to sacrifice herself so everyone else could remain comfortable. She walked to the window. Outside, the rain had become heavier. I won't marry him. Her father spoke quietly. If you refuse, we may lose the house. Maya turned. What? The business is tied to everything. The house too. Yes. Her mother began crying harder. Maya closed her eyes. For several seconds, nobody spoke. Then her father said the sentence she would remember for the rest of her life. Sometimes children have to make sacrifices for their parents. Maya looked at him. And sometimes parents are supposed to make sacrifices for their children. He had no answer. The wedding was held 3 weeks later. Maya wore an ivory dress her mother had chosen. Photographers smiled. Relatives congratulated her. People whispered about how lucky she was. Nobody asked whether she was happy. Nobody cared. Armin stood beside her throughout the ceremony. He was tall, composed, and dressed in a black suit. Armin stood beside the window long after his father and the lawyers had left. Maya watched him silently. The house felt different now. Only weeks ago, they had been 2 strangers forced into a marriage neither had wanted. Now there was a child growing inside her. Maybe 2. And suddenly, their quiet little life had become the center of a family battle worth millions. Armin finally turned. I should have told you everything. Maya crossed her arms. Yes, you should have. I didn't know. You knew people believed you were infertile. I knew what the doctors told me. Then why didn't you investigate? His expression tightened. Because I spent years believing there was nothing to investigate. Maya softened slightly. What happened to your first marriage? Armin looked away. My first wife, Nadia, left me 2 years after our wedding. Because of the infertility? That was what she told everyone. And you believed her? I believed the medical reports. Maya sat down. What did your father say? He told me I should accept it. Maya looked at him. And you did. Armin nodded. I thought maybe children weren't meant to be part of my life. His voice cracked. So I stopped hoping. Maya reached for his hand. Until now. He looked at her. Until you. Neither of them noticed the car parked across the street. Inside sat Armin's uncle, Farid. He watched the house through dark sunglasses. He had spent 15 years building his plan. The Ramon family company was worth hundreds of millions. Armin's father was aging. Armin was the only legitimate heir. If Armin remained childless, control of the company would eventually become complicated. Farid had spent years manipulating that uncertainty. He had convinced Nadia to leave. He had paid doctors to alter reports. He had spread rumors. And when Armin finally agreed to a second marriage, Farid believed he had one final opportunity. But Maya's pregnancy had destroyed everything. Farid's phone rang. "Is it done?" he asked. A voice answered. "Not yet." Farid's jaw tightened. "You said you could handle it." "We're trying." "Try harder." He ended the call. Then he looked toward Armin's house. "You should have stayed childless," he whispered. Inside, Maya was beginning to understand how dangerous their situation was. "Armin." "Yes." "Do you trust your father?" He hesitated. "I love him." "That wasn't my question." Armin looked at her. "I don't know." Maya nodded. "That worries me." "It worries me too." The next morning, Armin took Maya to a private hospital. The doctor repeated the results. "Congratulations. The pregnancy is progressing normally." "And the twins?" Armin asked. The doctor smiled. "It's still early, but yes. 2 heartbeats." Maya covered her mouth. Armin closed his eyes. For a moment, everything else disappeared. The lawyers, the family, the inheritance, the threats. None of it mattered. There were 2 tiny heartbeats. 2 lives. 2 reasons to protect their future. Then the doctor said something that changed the mood. "I recommend you avoid stress." Armin gave a humorless laugh. "That may be difficult." The doctor looked at him. "Why?" "Because my family is trying to take control of our company." The doctor blinked. Maya smiled faintly. "It's complicated." Outside the hospital, 3 black vehicles were waiting. Armin immediately noticed them. He took Maya's hand. "Stay close." "Who are they?" "I don't know." The vehicles followed them for 6 blocks. Armin turned down a side street. The vehicles followed. Maya looked through the rear window. "Armin, I see them." He called security. Within minutes, 2 of his father's vehicles arrived. The black SUVs disappeared. But the message was clear. They were being watched. That evening, Armin's father came to the house alone. He looked exhausted. "I owe you both the truth." Armin stood. "Start talking." His father sat down. The medical records were altered. By Farid. His father nodded. "But I didn't know until recently." Armin's face hardened. "You expect me to believe that? I should have investigated years ago. You let me believe I was broken." His father lowered his head. "I was afraid." "Of what?" "Your uncle." Silence. Maya stepped closer. "What does he want?" "Control." "Of the company?" "Yes." Armin's father looked at Maya. "And now he wants control of your children." Maya instinctively touched her stomach. Armin stepped between them. "He won't get near them." His father nodded. "I know." He pulled an old envelope from his coat. "This is why I came." Armin opened it. Inside was a copy of a medical report dated 12 years earlier. He read it. Then read it again. "This isn't mine." His father shook his head. "No. Whose is it?" "Your uncle's." Armin's expression changed. The report showed that Farid had undergone a fertility procedure years ago, one that could have resulted in permanent infertility. Maya looked confused. "What does this mean?" His father answered quietly. "It means Farid may have needed Armin to remain childless because he believed his own branch of the family had no legitimate heir." Armin stared at the paper. "But that doesn't explain Nadia." His father looked at Maya. "It does if Farid paid her." Armin's blood ran cold. "You're saying my entire first marriage was destroyed deliberately?" "Yes." "Why?" "Because if you had children, your position as heir would become unshakable." Armin slowly sat down. For years, he had believed his marriage had failed because he was incapable of giving Nadia the family she wanted. Now he discovered that the entire thing might have been engineered. Maya sat beside him. She took his hand. "You didn't fail." He looked at her. "I know that now." His father stood. "You both need to leave the house tonight." Armin frowned. "Why?" "Because Farid knows about the pregnancy." "How?" "I don't know." Maya suddenly remembered something. "The hospital." Armin looked at her. "What?" "Someone took a photograph of us outside." Armin's face changed. He immediately called his security chief. "Check the hospital cameras." Minutes later, they received footage. A man was standing across the street. Zoomed in, his face was clear. Armin recognized him. "That's Farid's driver." Maya whispered. "He knows." Armin's father nodded. "And he's coming." That night, they moved to a secure family estate outside the city. The house was surrounded by guards. Maya finally felt safe enough to sleep. But Armin stayed awake. At 3 in the morning, his phone rang. Unknown number. He answered. Hello. A man's voice spoke. You should have stayed childless. Armin stood immediately. Who is this? You know. The line went dead. Armin rushed to Maya's room. She was asleep. He stood beside her bed, watching her breathe. Then he looked at her stomach. His eyes filled with tears. He had spent years believing he would never be a father. Now he was terrified that becoming one would put his family in danger. The next morning, Maya woke to find him sitting beside the bed. You didn't sleep. No. Why? I was thinking. About. Our babies. Maya smiled. You'll be a good father. I hope so. You will. Armin took her hand. I made a promise. What promise? That nobody will ever make you feel trapped again. Maya squeezed his fingers. And nobody will take these babies from us. He nodded. Never. Weeks passed. Maya's pregnancy became more obvious. The family doctors confirmed that both babies were healthy. Armin's father publicly announced that Armin remained the sole successor to the company. Farid disappeared from public life. Everyone thought the danger was over. It wasn't. One evening, Maya found an envelope outside the nursery. There was no name on it. She opened it. Inside was a single photograph. It showed her walking through the hospital. On the back, someone had written, You should have never married him. Maya's hands began trembling. Armin found her seconds later. What happened? She handed him the photograph. His face hardened. He immediately called security. Then another message arrived. The twins will never see their father. Armin stared at the screen. Maya grabbed his hand. What are we going to do? Armin looked at her. We stop running. What? We've been reacting to him. He picked up the photograph. Now we're going to expose him. The next day, Armin met with investigators. They traced the payments to Nadia. They found altered medical records. They found